Are you a female veteran looking for services but have difficulty? Today we're talking about one of the most underserved communities on this episode of Coffee with Tea. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, Tonia, and I'm excited because I'm going to connect with another fellow veteran, and we're going to be talking about women's services. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Miss Melissa Wallace to the show. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with you.
It's an honor to talk to you and stuff like that. And I always like to share how we connect. So we were connecting because we're about to go to Vegas and hang out. So we struck up a conversation and we realized, we were both veterans, and so we really just connected off of that. So I don't want to tell more about your story. I want to allow you to tell your story and a little bit about who you are, what you do, and we'll open up the conversation as to, what is it that you do for the veterans out there.
Well, again, it was just a chance that you and I waiting for a flight and just connecting. And we were talking about some of our situations and some of the things that we went through with one dealing with the VA and the different services. And you compelled me to share my story. I mean, you're very engaging. So um, what I do, and let me give you a little background. I'm veteran, of course. I did the Air Force and the Army. I did two branches. I know that sounds a little insane, but in that time, we suffer, of course, PTSD and some of the other issues that a lot of us, when we come home, are not being addressed. And what I found unique was our mental issues, along with PTSD, are so much different when they involve women, because we're not only affecting ourselves, but we don't realize that the PTSD is also affecting our children, our young children. When we come home, we're distant, we have our own issues, and but we still have to be that mother, that nurturer. So during to some of my struggles early on, when my children were very young, I became homeless. Um, my marriage was over, just going into a very, very deep depression. And in becoming hopeless, of course, me reaching out to the help, I reached out to the VA, which we are told to do.
Yes,
We
yes, we are.
that is going to give us all, all our answers. All our answers are going to be answered at the VA. So, one day be on the hip, the other in the hand. And I went into the social services that dealt with homeless veterans. Everybody kept telling me, yeah, you can go. I go in there, and of course, I'm almost the only woman in there. There's other men sitting there. And, I'm telling my kids, it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And the first guy goes in, and she shakes his hand and congratulations, we found you housing. We're going to give you this Section 8 certificate. I'm thinking to myself, this is a shoe-in. I go in the office and they have this look and they say, sorry, we can't help you because you have children. Our services are only geared towards men and single men. We can only refer you back to your local level. I felt so defeated at that point because I said, there's nothing. They said, well, if you were single, if you didn't have your children, we have all kind of resources for you. And again, that just ripped me apart. And so fortunately, I did go to the local services. They were there. They helped. I got back on my feet. That was almost 20 years ago.
Right, right.
Um, since then,
Congratulations on that. That's for
thank
sure.
you. Thank you. But I also, and I do want to make this important fact. We do have to get help. We do have to talk to somebody. If the VA doesn't have sources that will fit, they have something that will fit you. So I did utilize, the PTSD counseling and that kind of thing. And also we're dealing with a lot of women with military sexual trauma. And they are just now getting to identify that issue. So
I, you know, before you like dive too much into it, for those who are not familiar with, MST, can you explain a little bit what does that look like or entail?
what that entails is a lot of our PTSD trauma stems from military sexual trauma. a
And
lot a lot of a lot of people focus on the combat PTSD, but majority of the women who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder are dealing with military sexual trauma. And that is, we've all been, I don't know if we all been, I won't generalize, but we've been harassed by superiors, other, soldiers or airmen that were with us. And so that is another level of the trauma that some of us went through in the military. And for a long time, the VA and other resources were not dealing with that. Luckily, within the last 5 years, they've been more focused on it. Matter of fact, there is a service-connected disability now strictly dealing with military sexual trauma.
right, right.
And so we have to get those resources on there. But what my program is Veterans Women Stand. And what I do is I won't say strictly, because I'll reach out. Anybody that reaches out to me for help will get it. But my main focus are women, homeless women with children that are veterans. And a lot of the issues that they find is it's hard for them to rent or find housing, because like I said, a lot of the programs are dealing with men without children. So they have 1 bedrooms, shared housing, nothing to accommodate what a veteran woman with 3 children. So what I do is I go out to the local landlords and I talk to them and say, hey, are you willing to rent to this veteran? She has children. She is service connected. So your rent is almost guaranteed. I cover if she's had evictions in the past, if she's had drug addiction in the past. I work with these landlords to say, hey, give this lady a chance. And I will almost guarantee sometimes the rent. I will guarantee the deposit. I will, if they've had past utility bills, I will clear those up. I've also, some of the thrift stores with all the housing, toiletries and that things. So I do depend on some donations to help me do those things. But primarily, I'm just doing it on our word. Majority of them want to get started, they want a new life, and they want to take care of the children. And mental services for the children, we don't realize the effect that our issues, our PTSD, our MST affect the children. I just remember a time I wouldn't come out of my room for weeks. The kids are left to fend for themselves, to get their own, to fix their own food, to do this, to make their school appointments, because mentally I wasn't able to handle it.
Right, right.
And my children are grown now, but you look at them as adults and you reflect and you see your adverse actions, how the military has affected them.
Right, right. And
And
this is I want to take a pause break because I want to make sure that we really dive down, because not only are you dealing with, women's issues of, being a mother and stuff like that, but in dealing with children, but you're dealing with, combat related stuff that's coming on with you. So hold that thought, and I want to actually touch in, because this is a halfway point that I want to stay on track. That if you're
okay,
enjoying what Miss Melissa is putting down, and you're picking up some of the nuggets, or maybe you're feeling that this might be something that might be of interest to you, please put a comment down below, give us a like, let us know, follow up with a comment so we can follow up with her. And we're going to go down deeper into how when we think about veterans, the most common thing we think of are the men, and so we really wanted to touch about this because, like I said, you're a woman's veteran, and we're just now getting a little bit of recognition for the services that we've provided. Correct?
yes, yes. We're just being recognized. And I'm saying within the last 6 years, uh, they would not even touch on this subject. And if you recall the young lady in Fort Hood, the soldier in Fort Hood, you know, there were people who were aware of what was going on in Fort Hood. But again, it's pushed under the rug. I was attacked. And the only reason that it was recognized, my first sergeant made a 2-sentence comment in my service record that proved I was disciplined I wasn't going to work because my attacker was there. And he brought me in the office and said, "Why are you not going, to your duty station?" And I said, "Because I can't stand to see him. He's there." And he wrote that in my service record. So when it came down to me, and it also, he put down the why they sent me to get counseling. Now, what they failed to tell me when they sent me to get counseling, that the military doctor, the post doctor, put me on antidepressants. And after he did that, then he gets back to my first sergeant, says, "Well, you have a top secret clearance. You can't work in your job because you're on antidepressants." So you know what they did? They assigned me to the MWR gym. So they took me off my job and had me handing out towels to men in the gym after I had been attacked. Now, this person that I was working with, they sent him to Korea. But I lost everything. And they demoralized you even more. And because he put that in the record, when I did file for my service-connected disability and I put that PTSD on there and the military sexual trauma, I was backed up because of 2 lines. It proved the timeline followed. So I do want to say to women, don't be afraid to report. Don't be afraid not to say anything. But it goes back that you deal with it in the future, and you deal with it with your family, and your children deal with it. And I am working with the Dayton VA hospital, which is awesome. I can't give them enough praise. They're looking into starting a program where now the children can come in, that they can do group counseling, not only with the mother, but bring in the children. And they're also looking at men veterans. I emphasize women a lot, but men veterans distance themselves from their children because of their PTSD.
Right.
They abandon their children. They don't want to get emotionally attached to their children because of the issue. So
Right.
it goes, the main focus is really getting the help for the female veterans, getting the help for the children also, and being and having the resources to get out there. The Dayton community has been very open to this issue. Um, Fortunately, I've had landlords who are actually now saying, "Hey, you got somebody. I need somebody in," because they realize too, they've gotten women who are disciplined, who are willing to work, who are not really not looking for a handout at all. And they do make good tenants. They actually make better tenants. And they're willing because again, you if they're service connected, they have that guaranteed income. But nobody's looking for them.
Right.
And
Right.
they don't know where to go. And then and even some of the women, they feel so their self-esteem is so low, they don't even know where to go or to reach out.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm making that available. I'm making it, as much as I can go to the VA, I go to the community centers, and I'm like, hey, are you a veteran? Are you this? Are you that? Uh, you know, don't let me see you with a hat on or a license plate or anything, because at that point I'm tapping you on your shoulder, almost like you. Hey, what are
Hey,
you
what's your
doing?
story? What you
Yeah,
got?
what are you doing? On your way to Vegas? Why are you sitting in the you we have to do that. We have to not be silent. We need to find us because we're out there. A lot of us don't. And have you noticed that a lot of women veterans don't like to acknowledge that they were, in fact, even in the military? And I'm like, why aren't you proud? You did something.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and men will let you know, hey, I was in the airborne, I was this. We do not speak on how proud we are.
Right, right. You make a valid point, and I want to make sure that because we're down to like, it's amazing how fast time goes by. We're down to like 3 minutes, but I want to like touch a couple of questions I got for you, Miss
Sure.
Melissa. One, I want to know what's the one message that you want people to take away from this interview right here today. What's the one thing you want them to understand?
That we are out there, that don't be afraid to reach out to anybody for help, because if I hadn't have reached out, I wouldn't be where I am today. If thinking about what I could have done, where my children, I have a college graduate, I have environmental engineer, but the road to get there was very hard. And not be afraid to talk, bang on the door, because it won't open. you know don't just kick it in, bang, knock a little bit, and get louder and louder and louder with each knock. You do that at home. Your kids don't answer the door, your grandmother, mom, knock, knock, and you get louder and louder. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to get louder and louder and let them know that we're here. And that's the message. And if you see a female veteran, and you ask her how she's doing, ask her if just, even she doesn't need anything, buy her a cup of coffee. You don't know how much a cup of coffee will mean to somebody who is sitting somewhere and what they're going through. Hey, can you use a cup of coffee? Here's a donut. That makes a difference, because it knows, and acknowledge each other, acknowledge us. Ask us where we're from, ask us what we did, because we're proud of it. Some of us are actually really proud of what we did, and I was, even in that defeat, hey, handed out the best towels there ever was in the gym. you know,
and
only so.
and
So
I have
go ahead.
my last question, because you like I said, we could I would love to have you come back on, because I always love connecting with my veterans and stuff like that. And so, like I said, this is a, like I said, underserved population. I think that they haven't really figured out what to do with us yet. We don't
They,
even know
they,
what to do ourselves.
but we have to tell them, okay, this is what I need. This is the resources I need.
Hmm.
Let us tell you, because if we wait to a bunch of old men to decide what does female veterans need, aren't we're not going to get answered. So we need to tell them.
Good
We
luck.
need our own clinic. We need to not have to go and get, our annual pap smears at another facility. The one thing they have at Dayton, they actually built a women's clinic. We don't even, we don't, they have a parking space for pregnant women now. You know, we've got to let our local communities, our elected officials know what we need. And we get it. But I definitely am going to come back on, because I am in 2 months, I am doing a fundraiser, and I'm going to come and talk to and exactly what it's going to do. And I just wanted to let you know I'm on my 6th veteran that I've placed in housing. So
Congratulations.
I'm
Congratulations.
so proud of that. One lady, she has 4 children, and the place, she loves it. So I found her a nice 3-bedroom house, and the landlord is happy and she's happy. I check on her every once in a while, and do you need anything? And she says, no, you did everything. And so that is the joy that I get. So I'm up to 6. When I get to 600, then I'll be back on.
Oh, we're
And
going to
then
have you on before that. We're going to have you on way before that. But I wanted to also let everybody know, because, as we're checking out, where can people find more information about you, your services, and how they can help if they would like to?
email me, it's vetwomenstand@gmail.com. And if you just email me, ask me questions, ask me where they can find resources in their area, I will even email me if you need help. If you need help, email me. I will do the best I can. If it's only, $10 so you can get to your next job interview. If it's, I need gas, I need, maybe some groceries to tie me over to the next month, email me. I'll be more and more and more happy. We're going to stick together and we're going to do it.
Yes, we are. And I want to also thank you for your time. Like I said, we're going to have you come back on, and I got some other speaking engagements. So if you want to continue to follow up with Miss Melissa, please make sure you check back here. And I also remind everybody that feedback is welcome. Please email us if you have
Please
any.
let me know what I can do
I
or
will.
did different.
I sure will. I'm going to get with you on that. Don't click off on me. I'm wrapping this up, and then I'm going to get
Okay.
with you. Email us if you have any guest or show ideas. Links that Melissa posted will be definitely posted down in the description box. Please give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed what she has shared. If there's something that speaks to your heart that you want to follow up, please give us a thumbs up. And if you're enjoying these videos and you're enjoying the insight that everyone's, please share. Please hit that subscribe button over there. And remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, and create your own path. And we'll see you back here on another episode of Coffee with Tea. All right. Bye bye.